Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our last Q&A leading up to the 5th episode for Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead. In this one first, we're going to go over a recent interview with Michael Cudlitz, who of course played Abraham in the Walking Dead television series, and him saying that he doesn't think we'll ever see any kind of crossover between Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead. And spoiler warning, of course, if you are not caught up for both Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, wanted to get my thoughts on this one. Recent interview with him. Links are in the description to both comicbook.com as well as wegothiscovered.com. It's from about a week to a week and a half ago, but I just found out about it. And basically what it is they asked him some questions, and they asked him about the possibility of maybe the two crossing over or something like that. As we've been discussing lately, you know, I really like the kind of idea that maybe the Fear the Walking Dead group could be the start of the Whispers, and he's kind of weighed in on the idea of a crossover between both shows, and he said we almost have a permission slip as far as our reality to make things a little bit bigger because we're based on the graphic novel. Cudlitz said, you have these characters like Abraham with the mustache and ridiculous way he presents himself. I don't mean that in a bad way. Ridiculous is fine. Michonne with a sword, Daryl with a crossbow. If one of our characters were to show up in the other world on Fear the Walking Dead, they wouldn't mesh because Fear is based much more in a realistic reality, where I believe ours is a more heightened reality because of the graphic novel. And then it says, this argument is added to an already long list of reasons for the shows not to cross over, but none are more simple than Fear the Walking Dead showrunner Dave Erickson comments to comicbook.com as of right now, no, there is no plan, Erickson said. From a narrative perspective, never mind the geography of it all, I think it would be too difficult to pull off. I don't think there's anything, as far as I've read in the comic, I don't think there's any trackway for that either. It's such a complicated proposition, and I think for the time being, the two shows just need to exist in their own spheres. So even though they're in the same universe, they're both in their own kind of sections, so to speak. And they are geographically quite a bit far apart from each other. So it's not that hard to pull off. And their time, in terms of time sequence, they're both in different chronological places. You have one that's like over 2 years into the zombie apocalypse, and you have the other one that's just basically getting started, like Rick in a coma or just waking up from a coma type of timeline. So it's quite a bit different. So that's kind of cool to hear him kind of weigh in on this one and kind of give his thoughts on the way he views it. And I think it's kind of cool that Abraham views it as like the original Walking Dead is more he kind of looks at it as like more cartoony and more less realistic than Fear, and he kind of looks at Fear as kind of being like a more serious take on the zombie apocalypse and on that world. That to me is interesting, because here's somebody who, of course, worked in the show, was one of the biggest characters the show will ever had or ever have, and he's saying that he thinks Fear is kind of more realistic than the original Walking Dead from his perspective. So that's kind of cool to hear that he thinks that way. And you guys have brought this up before. We've done kind of videos on this and covered this quite a few times, which is that the Walking Dead TV series is a bit, because it's based on the comics, it is true that it's a little bit more kind of out there. But it's weird because a lot of us read the Walking Dead comic book series first. It's kind of like when we go to watch the show after we've read the comic book series, we kind of accept things that we might not otherwise accept if we were watching a TV series for the first time, like Ezekiel and the tiger. That's quite cartoony, right? That's quite comic booky, and because it was in the comics, I just accept it as canon. I'm like, oh yeah, that's normal. It's normal to have a tiger in the zombie apocalypse 2 years in. But in reality, it's like, where are you going to feed it? Like, where are you going to get the meat to feed this damn thing? Because tigers eat tons of meat. And, it's just, are you going to feed it zombies or something? I don't know. So it's, it's definitely, but then again, in Fear, you have zombies getting struck by lightning right in front of people. So I would still say, though, maybe he's right that the two shows do kind of have a different feel, and I would agree with that Fear the Walking Dead, and sometimes in good ways and sometimes in bad ways. Like people who like the original Walking Dead, a lot of them, they don't like the feel of Fear as much because it's more kind of drama-based and the characters are more kind of like regular people. They're not as kind of over the top in some ways. Daryl is kind of over the top, right, in a lot of ways. And maybe Abraham is too, if even Michael Cudlitz thinks that he was a bit ridiculous. Who are any of us to argue with that if that's what he says, right? So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, if they were to do the crossover, oh man, that would be so hard. It would be great for Fear, though, I think. I think it would help Fear become more popular. But, how could they even do it? And then it would have to be a prequel or something, and it's supposed to be companion, and they'd have to, end it at a certain time. So it would affect Fear too much for them to do it. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That's probably not what they're doing. But it's just cool to hear them weigh in on it. So you guys can write your comments below on what you think about that one. Next one was Trev Q&A. In terms of location, how far from the ranch is the dam Strand is now located at? I would say it's pretty far away. My question, based off the location, is how long it will take, do you think, before Strand finds his way to the ranch, assuming he escapes with Daniel? So this one is, and it looks like he'd probably be fine. I don't think it's going to be an issue. There's, in the trailer, you can see him kind of outside of the dam with his car and stuff like that. So I'm sure they're fine. Maybe they have to run away and get out of there, but I'm sure he's able to get out of there without any trouble. Or at least without getting hurt. I think, I would say maybe the end of this season we might see them reunited. I can't really see it by the mid-season finale because we just have a few episodes left and there's the double finale too, which is going to make it go by even faster. So I'm tending to think, just based on timing, we'll probably be until next half when we actually see the group recombine, with them maybe finding Ophelia and then maybe finding the others at the ranch at some point. But yeah, I think that'll be near the end of this season. And in terms of distance, well, they're at the Gonzales Dam. So that, I believe that's in Mexico. I'd probably have to look it up. I can't think off the top of my head. But in terms of, from there to the ranch and where that would be, I would think it's pretty far, man. I would think it is a pretty good distance. And it's going to be weird to see how these characters are going to meet again. It could even be longer than this season until they do. But that would be kind of cool to see, kind of Fear the Walking Dead, if you have characters branch out and stories continue with certain ones that are not connected to the main group, and then maybe after a few seasons or something, kind of recombine or something. Definitely different, and something we haven't really seen in the original Walking Dead. The original Walking Dead, they're usually all situated kind of together, and even if certain groups go on runs for a while, they're usually pretty close together. Right now, yeah, we've got to think, because they took the helicopter and everything, and it was traveling for a while at very high speeds. So they're actually in different countries, if you think about it that way. So they must be, at least maybe, I don't know, couple hundred miles or something like that, or 100 miles or so. You have to look at how long the helicopter was traveling for, but it seemed like it was quite a while, right? So, or maybe I'm overshooting it. You guys can write your comments below with your thoughts on that. I might have to think about that one for a bit and go through it a bit. Radical Zed says, hey, Trev Q&A, what are your mid-season finale death predictions? Not expecting them to kill off any more major characters like Travis in our core group until we get a more expanded group, Alexandria Hilltop style, 2 to 3 seasons from now, if the show makes it that far. What are your thoughts? So yeah, my thoughts on mid-season finale death predictions. Well, I'm probably not going to do it for this half because I just, after them killing off Travis like that in the premiere, or in the double premiere, it's like I just can't. I can't see them killing off many main characters right now. We don't have that many left. Like, who are you going to kill off? And people would say, well, the people of the ranch, the Ottos, they're main characters now. It's like, well, they just got here. So, yeah, even though I can't really put them at A-list right now, maybe after a while, but not right now, I don't think they're going to kill off any of our kind of core group that's been there for a couple seasons now, since season 1 or season 2. Anybody who's come in around that range is like, not right now, not after who they've already killed off. So I won't be doing it for this half, but maybe for the finale of the season if it's been a bit. It just, after that, it just doesn't make sense to do it, right? Alexander and Savior says, this is the best flashback episode yet of the Walking Dead universe, about the episode 4, the Daniel episode. This is better than the Governor's, Morgan's. I doubt it will be as good as Negan's, but you never know. Most likely the same people that started the fire brought the helicopter down. Troy could still be involved, though. Where the hell is Ophelia? So I was going to do a video on it because there is a picture, a promo picture of this season with Ophelia in it, and she's like next to this some kind of vehicle with like a huge minigun on it, that type of thing that you could use to shoot down helicopters. So that's kind of cool to see that, and it kind of brings to question, like, was it her group that she's with that shot it down? I think so. So we'll see maybe more of that in the mid-season finale, and that'll be interesting to see what happens if Madison and the others realize that Ophelia is on the other side and they're fighting against each other. That could be kind of cool, and some good drama from that could be interesting to see. So I'm excited to see what they do with that and how that kind of turns out. And what if Ophelia was the one who actually shot it down? That would be quite crazy if you think about, like, if she finds out, if Madison finds out that Ophelia shot it down, how would she react? How would she respond to it? Because, of course, knowing that then, in effect, if she was the one who did that, then it was her who actually killed Travis, or at least put him down for good, because he may or may not have been bitten prior in the the pit there and all that stuff. So another good question. We'll do one more. Okay, Walking Dead Freak says, I thought the building that was burning was the old couple. Maybe Troy did it because he saw Nick taking pleasure of the view. Old couple dancing. So we'll see what causes the fire tonight in this episode. It does look like to me it could just be something that happened with the elderly couple that's there. Maybe because you did see one of them like a zombie in that. So is it possible maybe one of them died naturally? Or maybe something happened. But Troy should be gone at this time, so I don't think I could blame Troy for it because he's not there. But we'll have to see. Or it could be the natives or something attacking the ranch, because we do see them kind of warning them and saying abandon the ranch. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, of course, tonight, the usual videos, the review as usual, the predictions video for next week, and we'll do lots of Q&As this week for Fear, continuing on strong for the next few weeks. To finish up the first half of Season 3. Really enjoying it. That'll be it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please thumb it up below. You can share and favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. So for this one, see you guys again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.